Okay, so let's start with something simple, something very similar to what you are usually doing as a Tekla user. Let's check what is needed to insert the dimension line. Okay, so at first we need the view, which will be the host of the dimension. We should also specify the points which will be dimension, the location of dimension line, and also some attributes, so some settings, how the dimension should look. Let's start with the simplest one, the view. I have the GA drawing with only one view, and of course I could pick this view with this component, drawing object, select, get, and it is here. After clicking, it is selected. But I would rather like to do it in a more automatic way. So let's firstly get active drawing and then query about the views which are currently on this drawing. Let's get it and also start the toggle, boolean toggle. Yep, this is it. Okay, so now I have the view, and by the view it's just the view. So there is only one view. We of course can also query for some properties of this view, but at this point I just needed this one single view which has the name 3D. It is the model view. Okay, I have the view. So I can very quickly connect those two components. Then I need the points which will be dimensioned. And I will start with the very easy way, not very productive, but okay, let's just mimic the same approach as the normal dimension line. Let's pick some points. So let's get this point and this point. Close by interrupt. Okay, so we have 2 points, which were picked by us as a user. So they are here. And the next one is the location. So we have to specify the line along with the dimension will be placed. So let's use for this a different point and let's specify that this dimension will be, okay, something here. And of course, this is only a single point. For here, for the location, we need to specify the line. So there are plenty ways how it can be done, but the most, I would say, easy one is to use this standard Grasshopper component, line SDL, when you specify the start point of the line and also, what is the most important, the vector, the direction. And I will use the X unit vector, and because I want to make this dimension horizontal. Okay, so by doing it, I grabbed the line, let's connect it, and yep, here it is. So the dimension was created. Of course, and those points which are dimensioned, I have manually picked them, so it's not very productive, but just to get the basic concept. For insertion of the dimension line, you have to specify the view, which will be the host of the dimension, some points, location, and some attributes. So the last one, the fourth one, is voluntary. You don't have to specify the properties, but let's see what can we do. We can get dimension line attributes and we can specify the name of the attributes which should be used. So let's use the standard one by connecting to the second input. The dimension line attributes component will load the standard dimension properties. And what does it mean? It means that here from this list of the settings available in your environment, it will load the standard one. Okay, it is the default one, not very interesting, but by doing it, I can connect it, and then I can tweak those dimensions to my need. So for example, I don't want to get the extension line. So I will set it to yes, and this small change was there. Yes, it is here. Okay, let's check something which can be struggle for you. So let's try to offset a little more this point. Oh, and it doesn't change. It is still in the same place. Why, you would ask? And the reason of it is the placement, the standard Tekla protection behavior. So each view has some protection rules, which are mainly for getting better visibility of the drawing objects. And when the drawing object has the placing setting set to 3, then it will be under the rule of the protection settings. If you don't know too much about the protection setting, then you can of course grab the documentation of the Tekla itself and check how it is working and how it is set for your views. But for my this specific drawing, for this specific view, there is quite a lot of protection rules. So if we want to override this one, so we want it to have as a fixed, then we can, the first version would be just to set it as a fixed and save as a different name, or we can also specify it here. So let's grab it as a fixed. And now you see that the dimension, it is overriding those grid axes, of course, but this is possible only because we changed the placing type from free to fixed. So now when I will move this in a different place, then this dimension will move also, neglecting the protection rules because we set the placing type as a fixed. So it could be quite interesting and also a little overwhelming when the dimension will be not placed in the exact location which you provided, but the reason behind it is this placing type. So that's all for the very, very simple dimension line. Let's get to the next exercise.